You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good day and welcome to the Mushie Moment with myself and my awesome co-host Rev Cindy. Live today on Tuesday, August 6, 2024 on paceradio.net, and we stream everywhere.
Everywhere.
August 6th. It's August 6th. Is it going by fast enough for you?
Way too fast. In 1 month and 5 days, I'm preparing to leave for my practicum in Mexico. I don't think I'm ready yet.
Well, get on it. What the heck?
I got a month and 5 days.
You got over a whole month. Like, come on. What's the props?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It'll be good. It'll be great. It'll be wonderful. I can't wait to get there.
How's your day going so far?
Pretty good. Yeah, I had an appointment this morning with to do VAC paperwork, Veterans Affairs Canada paperwork. Woo! So I got all that done. Yeah, and then I have been doing some stuff around the house and doing some work, and then preparing with you. How's your day?
It's not too bad. I think that because it's sitting way in the background right there, I'll point right there behind you in the background. You should hold up that cheat. No, the other side. Can't you see where I'm pointing? The Cheech and Bong.
My Cheech and Chong Bong.
Yeah.
For the van. I've been using it anyway.
Cheech and Bong. You know, because they got a new movie coming out. So this way we can publicize it a little bit with the Cheech and Bong.
Cheech and Bong. Chong.
Okay, enough of that crap. Put it back on the shelf.
Okay.
So what you been doing?
Well, we already talked about me. What about you?
Oh. Well, my incredibly beautiful puppy dog Mika passed away on the weekend. She decided to cross the Rainbow Bridge. 10 days shy of her 19th birthday, which is an absolute miracle. And I'm thanking her for doing it at 10 because I'm bad with numbers, but I can remember 10. So then I'll remember it's always 10 days shy of her 19th birthday. But yeah, she taught me immense loads of how to love unconditionally and what love really, really is. For a being that spoke no words, she spoke to my heart in a way that words didn't even exist. And all there was just incredible love.
She definitely was one of the most beautiful souls that I have ever met. I have a lot of beautiful memories of hanging out with you and Mika, and that beach that you walked frequently with her.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go walk that. I'm going to take her ashes there, and I'm going to do some spreading of her ashes on that little beach. And, you know, she leaves a good legacy. Because of her, there's a lot of other dogs that are doing quite well. And, you know, that the product she inspired just make hearts open. And,
yeah, she is a puppy hero. And she's got quite a story. And I know that you are trying to put that together, and I can't wait to see that.
Yeah. As my friend Lisa called it, a dogumentary, I am doing a documentary about Mika and the adventures that were shared and the lives that she changed, because she actually changed quite a few lives.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing, and
Hmm.
been absolutely blessed to spend 19 years with what I call an earth angel. There was nothing but love, and she's left my heart so full of love. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing on a road to healing when we're on healing journeys. Segue.
Segue. Segue. Steve, now is a great time to talk about our guest.
We have a guest.
We do. Yeah.
Well, let's see. Could it be about healing?
On this show, most likely.
Could we possibly have somebody on that's a sacred medicine facilitator, integration coach, a person that practices what he speaks, and runs healing retreats to help other people heal? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ivaylo Goverdarov. Did I get it right, or was I off again?
It's Ivaylo Goverdarov.
Goverdarov. I got to roll the R a little bit too. Goverdarov. Okay, awesome. Welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
I'm very good. Very happy. I did some work in the garden this morning, and I've been looking forward to connecting and talking with you guys today. So very content and pleased to be here.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. So my first question is always the same for everybody. What brought you to this field? What brought you to psychedelics?
Absolutely. So something that I've noticed on this path, just speaking to a lot of friends of mine who also share medicine, they accompany people through this process, is that usually there comes a moment where people who choose this path have some kind of a crisis in their life, which motivates them to, start this journey toward themselves and, start helping others. So for me, that moment of crisis was 11 years ago when my mother passed away. She was 51 at the time, and she had cancer. And after she passed away, I entered a moment of, perhaps a couple of years where I just felt deeply depressed. Would wake up daily with a ball of anxiety in my solar plexus. And the only thing that could bring me a short respite from the daily anxiety was just smoking lots of cannabis. But even if it helped in the moment, I was really using it as a crutch to numb down what I was feeling. And with time, I realized that it was not only my mother's passing that I had to deal with. There was many other things that I had to look into. So at some point, I had a very responsible. I had a job with a lot of responsibility back when I lived in the UK, related to international emergency response and dealing with crisis situations. So the responsibility that I felt kind of helped me to override my own personal situation. But the way that I did it was that I just swept everything under the rug. So even if it allowed me to be able to function on the day to day, go to work, be, a productive member of society, I had numbed myself so much that I wasn't feeling the anxiety, but I wasn't feeling anything at all. And right around this time, I was all throughout. I went to therapy. I was trying meditation, exercise, all kind of things to have some peace, but couldn't really, feel good about life. So right around this moment, my sister, who lived in Spain at the time, phoned me one weekend. It was like, hey, I did an ayahuasca ceremony last weekend, and there's another one in a couple of weeks. You should get a ticket and come. And in this moment, I was going about my life in such a way that it was scarier to keep going the way that I was going than to, and I was very impressed by the name, because one of the translations of ayahuasca is the vine of death or the vine of spirits. So it was scary to keep going the way that I was going than to go and drink the brew from the vine of death. So that's how I went. I was very impressed by the people that I met. There was just something about their energy, the way that they were, the way they spoke to each other, just their being, like there's something special about them. So I kept going and kept going and I kept going to these retreats for a couple of years in Europe, up until the point where I decided that I was 29 at the time, 6 years ago, and I decided, okay, I don't have a wife, I don't have kids, I don't have a mortgage. So now is the moment to, do something. And even if it's a complete failure, I still have time to start over. Came to Colombia, started, out of my just the desire for my own process, my own healing, my own getting to know myself. Started going to ceremonies. With time, started helping different elders, ceremonies that they did, supporting people, and then just very naturally, started giving some advice when I go to a retreat and there's someone for the first time, until I was asked by a good friend of mine to organize a ceremony for a group he was hosting here in Colombia. Give him a bit of a chat before the ceremony and help them with the ceremony after. And that's how it all began.
Wow.
So you literally grew into the position of facilitation and integration.
Well, there's this topic of the journey of the wounded healer. Like when something happens to you, and then you just like figuring out your own process and figuring out yourself. Just very naturally, the desire to share that with others came along, and as I said, the first 3 years after my mother's passing, and between my mother's passing and between my first ceremony, I really felt like I was willing to do anything. Like I did the therapy, I was reading articles about what do the most successful people do, and then they wake up at 5 a.m., they meditate, they have a plan, they exercise. So I was doing all these things, and still it felt like it wasn't the thing that I was looking for. And like once I discovered sacred medicine, and like the most important thing that it gave me at first was this positive expectation of life. That life is not something that we should suffer through, but that life is something that is actually that can be very beautiful, and whatever might have happened to us, we still have the opportunity and the chance to reinvent ourselves, rediscover meaning, and enjoy, like this gift that we've been given, like in the whole history of the universe. Imagine like this whole like millions and millions and millions of years, and all the things that had to happen for us to be here today, like just to be able to connect with that gratitude that we have the opportunity to experience life. And I was just very passionate about sharing with people these tools so that they don't have to experience the things that I experienced, like, and the things that this kind of like a knowing uncertainty, feeling stuck, like there's no way out. So that was a big, perhaps the biggest motivation to embark on this journey.
So between the medicine and your mother's passing, you actually were focused on doing the patterns of achievement.
Absolutely.
Right? Is that what I was gathering there? But the patterns of achievement without connection didn't really get the end result that a lot of people promote, because a lot of people promote that pattern.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that the pattern works for, but when you find those people that the pattern really works for, they have a connection. And that's never talked about in the, do these patterns. Because there's lots of seminars on do these patterns, be an overachiever, be a. But if you don't have connection, it doesn't matter, where that's going. You're missing a part of you. We talk about connection, and people picture connection with everything around you, but truly it's connection with yourself and understanding that you're a part of everything around you.
Absolutely.
So
Something I like sharing with people as well is that on like I like my background, I was I had this syndrome. I later came to read a book about it. Actually, I was really Mr. Nice Guy, like doing the right thing, avoiding conflict, wanting to make my family proud. And something that I like sharing with people is that I had the great fortune to achieve that thing in the external world a few times, only to experience that I thought would bring me long-lasting fulfillment and peace, only to experience, like maybe like a month of like feeling really good, like that the sky's the limit, but then quickly, like that void would appear again. And after experiencing that for a few times, like first it was, like graduating from my undergrad with the top grade possible. I did that. Then I wanted to do a master's at a top university in the UK. I did that as well. Graduating, like I graduated, did that as well. I had a really, really amazing job, like, so every time I would push myself so much, like to the point where I would, like feel anxious, feel very worried, like stress out, to get to the achievement and then feel like amazing for a month. But then was the next thing and was the next thing. And this helped me realize, and that's why I say I had the great fortune to experience that. And what this gave me was it helped me realize that I was playing the wrong game, because when you play this game, there's always a bigger yacht, so there's no end to it. So this is right around the time when I thought, okay, now is the moment to do something. I had wanted all my life to learn Spanish. After 12 years in the UK, I wanted to live in a place where I see the sun every day, deepen my work with the medicine, and just start from zero in a place where I didn't know the language, didn't know anybody. So yeah, absolutely, achievement and kind of this way of trying to prove myself, to feel a more valuable person, to kind of feel loved and appreciated by my family is what led me to do the work I do today.
what is your master's in?
I did a master's in Russian and East European Studies, which is an
Wow.
area studies course.
Wow. So
Yeah.
what would, if you went through all of your academic, just that end of the academic achievements, what would you say the high points of knowledge were for you?
Well, I feel like, well, in terms of like my where I focus in my academics, I focus mostly on the transition between communism and uh, democracy for the post-socialist states. I'm originally from Bulgaria, so like I focus on learning more about my country and the history. And when I entered these studies, I had the idealistic endeavors to one day come back to my country, enter politics, and like influence change in a positive way. But as I went further along my studies, I just realized that okay, I need to pick another way other than politics that I can make a difference and make the world a better place. But I think that like the most important thing that I learned, I feel in my master's degree, um, was I was just so very happy to be surrounded by people who thought just on a very different scale. Like before I went to do my master's, like for me, my dream was that by the end of 30, I was going to be an investment banker, earning more than £100,000 per year. And that was like the top of the top for me. And all of a sudden, I was, like surrounded by people who they want to found a school, or they want to, like found a foundation that helps people get educated so they can have a better life. They didn't want to be the investment banker, but maybe they wanted to own the company, so it was just this other scale of thinking, which was very, very motivational, and perhaps the biggest, most important learning for me from university.
Awesome. I find that growth that you were doing and where you were going and the background picture behind you of as you're speaking hold completely opposite dichotomy.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible, because that's a you're talking about, I was working towards a dream that is a program that our society is told everybody should dream this fucking dream. And yet in the end you're in a jungle, I'm assuming. Is that a jungle area that you're in?
Well, I'm in the forest. I'm in the Andes mountains, about an hour away from the city of Medellin in Colombia. And the little village that I'm in is called Santa Elena. So I'm in a tropical, humid forest.
At, you said 2,000 foot altitude, correct?
2,700 meters, which I think
700 meters. Oh,
about 9,200, something like that.
So the air's a little thin.
It's pretty good. It's like, I have to say that it's challenging to go for a run here in the mountains, but whenever I go to play football or soccer, as you guys in the north call it, I feel a lot of energy. I have a lot of fuel in my tank.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Awesome. Wow, that's a pretty cool story.
It is.
Story. That's so you made the conscious choice. Now that was after the medicine. So were you still on that upwardly mobile path when you did the first medicine?
So after I graduated with my master's, I did a couple of internships with some NGOs. Again, like deepening my research in corruption, and I was projecting myself that I was either going to work for the European Union or or NATO or United Nations, one of these like international organizations. And when I first drank medicine, it was maybe like a couple of months before I was promoted to operations manager in the company that I worked for. And I also received a few offers from the European Union to go and do an internship with them, which is really one of the main routes that you enter working for that organization. So things were going professionally very well. Like I really enjoyed my job. I felt I felt very happy and proud of the work that I had, because I had a lot of responsibility, and I had the trust and respect of people that I admired and I trusted in my work. So, and also like because of the nature of the job that I did, we dealt with all kinds of, like emergency situations. Most of my colleagues were ex-military from the British and the American and the US Army. So it was very high pace, you had to really think on your feet, supporting people through crises. Something that they would tell us at work is, when things go horribly wrong, our clients call us then. And when you answer the phone, they need to feel like their prayers have been answered. So I really enjoyed what I did, but then, being very honest with myself and being able to, get out of my head and connect more with the heart and change the way of making decisions, like from weighing all the pros and cons and what logically makes sense to what feels right, like where do I want to be. And this change of making decisions really helped me to decide to leave my work go spend a few months in my native Bulgaria with my grandmother, who was very old at the time, and then come to Colombia.
Wow.
And of course, now in Colombia, as you get there, you continue your education with sacred medicine. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it, I want to get into other questions, but it's actually a perfect time before we jump into another question to do a commercial break.
Commercial break, because man, there's no having a short one right at this moment. So at this point, it's break time. Time to check out our sponsors, pay some bills. You're here with us live on the Mushie Moment on paceradio.net. And we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Camelford Lifestyle Shop, open Monday to Friday from 10 till 7 p.m. or by chance. Check out our flags, our t-shirts, plus our hats, and look of that supply of rolling papers, plus much more. We've got bongs and your favorite herbal vaporizers. Look at all the incense we have, as well as for those who collect knives, check out these knives in our collection. And while you're here, stop in to see Shay at the piercing room, where you can get poked by Shay. Daily deals, check them out. Camelford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Camelford, Ontario.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partner 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
And welcome back to the Mushie Moment, streaming live to you here at paceradio.net and everywhere. We're here with our awesome guest, Ivaylo Goverdarov. I'm going to get it rolling, man. I'll get it rolling. I love the flow, like on European and Spanish names that make you roll the R's. And my original one was, I was originally wondering if we even enunciated the V, because in some you don't enunciate the V, right? I love it. It's a cool, unique name. So now you find yourself, you've hopped on a plane, and you.
But before we hop on the plane, so far have you only partaken in ayahuasca at this point in time?
That was the first medicine that I got to ever know in my life was cannabis, not in a ceremonial context, but that was the first medicine. And I think for many people who come to this world is the first medicine they connect with. But in a ceremonial setting, ayahuasca was the first one. So at this moment, I have worked with San Pedro or Huachuma, which is the ancestral name, with peyote, with mushrooms, cambo, sweat lodge, and other medicines such as Vision Quest, which where you don't actually take any sacrament, but for me is really, if not the most powerful medicine that I've experienced, one of the most powerful medicines. So yeah, some of these I participate, and others I facilitate, where I either organize groups and support them with the preparation and bring them to medicine families that I study with, or I share myself. But these are the medicines that I have come to know.
Okay. So before you hit Colombia, you had only worked with ayahuasca.
I had before I came to Colombia, I had worked with ayahuasca, with temazcal or sweat lodge, and cambo, which is basically comes from a secretion of a frog.
Yes, the frog. Yeah, yeah. I have a few scars. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So then you come to Colombia, and
Okay, hold on, because before you get on the plane, have you communicated with a bunch of people, or have you just gone, I gotta go, and you've booked a ticket and you're heading off?
Well, I mean, I told my friends and my family that I'm going to Colombia, and then I found an internship as a teacher teaching English here. But other than the school that I contacted, I didn't really know anybody.
You're freaking
I
off.
have so much admiration for that. That's just absolutely wonderful. Yeah. Yeah. Very, very cool. So now you've taken off for Colombia. You do have a job, which is amazing, right? Teaching English. And that's a form of like an amazing form of helping people is teaching another language and helping them learn. So you come to Colombia, you've done a few medicines, and then you just start the search for, yeah. Yeah. And that was 6 years ago now.
That was 6 years ago. Yeah, in December 2018,
Wow.
I came to Colombia.
Okay,
Wow.
so you landed, you got all your stuff, you're what are you doing?
Well, when I first came, before this internship with the school where I went to teach English, I wanted to spend some time on the coast. So I found another volunteering position for 5 or 6 weeks on the Caribbean coast by one of the national parks. It's called Parque Tayrona, and I just spent some time there. It was really magical for me. It was the second time ever in my life that in December, January, I'm in a place where the weather is hot. I'm at the beach. That was quite something for me, surrounded by hummingbirds, monkeys, and all the lush vegetation in the Caribbean coast of Colombia. So I spent some time there, and then came to Medellin and started. I completely agree. I love teaching. I feel like a big, even if I'm not I feel like a big teaching element in the work that I do. Teaching people about like how to process emotion, navigate challenging moment in the ceremony, and also something I really love telling people, sharing with people, is that I mean, like, there are these powerful medicines, ayahuasca, San Pedro, sweat lodge, cambo, all of them, and the many others that I didn't mention right now, and they're powerful. They're very powerful in themselves, but they come within a context of a culture. They come within a context of these communities and traditions. They have used these medicines to learn to live life in a good way, to be useful for life. So I really love also sharing about that wisdom with the people that come to the retreats and ceremonies that we organize.
Wow. Wow. So when you show up in Colombia and you start teaching, did you know you were heading to learn medicine, or were you just heading to find medicine?
I since the first time I connected with the medicine in a ceremony in Europe, I just had this burning desire. Oh, I gotta share this with everyone. Has to drink ayahuasca, like, which I'm sure many people experience that. But when I came, it was just for my own personal process, my own personal journey. And for a very long time, I felt that I'm not ready to have this position of leadership. Like, who am I to lead people into these experiences when I have so many things I need to work on myself, when I haven't dealt with this and this and that. So first it was this desire to just like go inside myself, get to know myself better, and I knew there was something more. I knew that this wasn't the limits, like, of life, like having a job and like traveling in rush hour every day and what's the word, just tolerating management and a boss that I didn't quite agree with or like. So yeah, I thought there was something more, and I just wanted to come here and jump into the unknown, see what happens, test myself. I felt very inspired by my colleagues. Like they were telling me about, like maybe once you've been in the army and like 10 years have passed, 15 years have passed, once you've been on a tour or once you've been through this grueling training, you look at it with fondness and happiness. I'm sure that right in the moment it's something very, very challenging, but I felt very inspired by my colleagues as well, who had put themselves in many situations of great risk. They had to exhibit lots of courage. So I thought I wanted to do something like that myself.
Wow. Okay, so you get there. You've done the one coast. You're in Medina. You're teaching. You find your first medicine ceremony there. How?
I remember when I came, well, there were different events that like people advertise on social media or mouth to mouth, and it was I feel like there's something magical about the medicine that it kind of like connects you with people that maybe they have similar interests. So I think the first ever ceremony I went to was Sweat Lodge in San Pedro ceremony with a local elder. Her name is Abuela Gloria, or Grandmother Gloria. I ended up going to several vision quests with her and doing many, many sweat lodges after that. But it was I can't exactly remember how I would have found about the first ceremony. I think I probably saw some kind of an advert, maybe on Facebook, one of the groups for expats here in Medellin, and then after that, like once you're there, you meet all the people, and then people are connected. So that's
Yeah, the universe will throw lots of pathways, but the one there'll be one that you go, oh, this one's talking to me. So I
yeah.
find it interesting that it's just kind of like, no, this one talked to me, and I went along with it.
Yeah.
Wow. And from there, it's blossomed into.
Well, as I said, like the first couple of years, I was just going to ceremonies and retreats, and there's also something that here the context with medicine is very different from. I haven't been to Canada or to the States myself, but in Europe, like it's very like it's from mouth to mouth. Someone has to invite you or like be on a mailing list. It's not openly advertised, and here is just part of culture. Like there are I think in Colombia there are either uh, 28 or 38 indigenous groups. Apologies for not knowing the exact number, but medicine and ceremony is part of their life. Like, so even if people don't participate in this world, or they don't agree with it, they know of its existence. So it's a very, very different, very, very different environment. And the first couple of years, I was just, like experiencing different medicines on my own personal journey, going to, like sit with elders and these oral traditions, passing information from mouth to mouth, from an elder to the youngsters, like it's very present here. So I went to a lot of spaces like that. And then we had the COVID pandemic. Like we had the lockdown, and after the lockdown had just opened, I went to a ceremony, and then I had this dream for some time at the time that I want to like earn money, buy land, create my medicine center, and invite people. But I didn't have the money at the time to do that, and I was putting it off. So when I do this, I'm gonna do the next thing. When I earn the money and buy the land, then I'm gonna do the thing that I really want to do. But in one of the ceremonies, I connected with this realization that the medicine center starts now. With all the resources, the contacts with the elders, with the shamans, I feel like I had already been supporting people with the preparation and then the integration following such experiences. And that's how I began first to organize ayahuasca ceremonies, retreats, then meeting another medicine family that shares Sweat Lodge and San Pedro with us. I was organizing ceremonies with them. And sometime on this process, a lady that I met at a ceremony where I helped a Mexican elder with Sweat Lodge and mushroom ceremony, she asked me, "Hey, like, do you do mushroom journeys yourself? Because I want to work with the medicine, but I wouldn't want to do it in a place with 15 other people. Is that something you can accompany me with?" So that's how 3 years ago I started also doing one-on-one mushroom journeys. These last year I've been sharing Cambo, and also this year in January I received the blessing from this very same elder, Abuela Gloria, to run my own sweat lodge after completing my fourth vision quest. So little by little,
Congratulations.
It's
things have been
amazing.
growing. Thank you.
Wow.
So we've got some banners that go with some of this stuff. So your medicine center is called
Colibri Garden, correct?
Colibri Garden.
Colibri Garden. Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, that would be Hummingbird Garden.
Hummingbird Garden. Yes.
Beautiful.
I can tell you how that name came about if you want. I think it's a good.
Yes.
So when I came to Colombia, I was in a moment where like two of the biggest topics that I wanted to work on was my relationship with women and my relationship with money. And I noticed that there was some kind of a connection in one of the journaling sessions that I had, and I had connected with a coach that I met at one of the ayahuasca retreats in Europe that I attended. And we had a great connection. David, God bless him. And he gave me this exercise once. And it was, imagine money is an animal. What kind of an animal is it, and what's your relationship with it? And then in the first part of the exercise, obviously, I had to work on my relationship with money a lot in this moment. So I imagined myself that I am in the middle of a river with the water up to my knees. And money was a fish, and then it was swimming between my legs. I was trying to catch it, but because the fish is greasy, like and slippery, it was challenging to do that. So what did I do? I tried to catch it harder, and after some point of being harassed, the fish would join the current and swim away. And then the second part of the exercise was, now imagine money is some kind of an animal that makes you feel very happy and content, like a group of puppies or something, whatever works for you. And then I imagined, because I had just come out of the the time on the Caribbean coast with all the lush vegetation, the animals. I imagine that I'm in this beautiful tropical garden with beautiful flowers, and that money was a hummingbird. And however hard you may try, like it's impossible to catch a hummingbird. But what you can do if you want to attract it is plant the flowers that they feed off and put those feeding stations so that they can come, see how good it is, then go tell the other hummingbirds, then come have eggs and all that. And it was a very useful metaphor for me, and for a very long time, it helped me making decisions. Like asking myself, what energy am I in? Am I in fish grabbing mode, or am I in colibri garden mode? Am I pursuing things, or am I attracting things? And I think that this metaphor, like in the moment, it worked. I did it because of an exercise about money, but I think that it applies directly to relationships. Are we trying to entrap our partner with conditions and limits and don't do this, don't do that, so that you don't make me feel uncomfortable? Or are we creating such a beautiful life that when they come, they don't even think about going? And with time, this exercise evolved into the metaphor for colibri garden, which is the hummingbird garden. So the hummingbird garden is a metaphor for our inner world. We all want to attract the hummingbirds of love, success, abundance, beautiful home. But before we do that, we need to tend to our own garden. We need to weed out the doubt, the past hurt, the blocked emotions that we didn't process very well. And as we open space in our inner world, plant the seeds of faith, trust, water with consistency, discipline, some more faith, until these seeds grow into the beautiful flowers in our life that attract all the hummingbirds that we want. And the beautiful thing about this process is that once you learn to be a good gardener, you're always going to have a beautiful garden. And even if one of your hummingbirds decides to fly away, like one of my hummingbirds flew away a few months ago when I separated with my lady, you're still surrounded by flowers. And what I like when I explain to people that don't know the medicine world very intimately, I tell them this metaphor, and I share with them that I help people and I teach people how to be good gardeners of their.
And that's fucking beautiful, man.
I love that. Yeah.
That was beautiful. The Colibri Garden is a beautiful place to be for anybody. Wow. And I love that. Am I trying to catch it, or am I floundering in the water trying to catch a fish, or am I building my beautiful garden and attracting the hummingbirds? And that's beautiful, man. You rock.
Yeah.
Wow. So with Colibri Garden, give us a rundown of what it is. If somebody wants to get a hold of you and visit, one of the gardens with you, give us a rundown. What goes on? What's the process?
Absolutely. So we have our website, which I see is appearing on the screen right now. It's colibrigarden.com. We organize ayahuasca retreats. We also organize individual ceremonies with ayahuasca, with San Pedro, with Sweat Lodge. We work with Cambo. I myself share mushrooms in Cambo, and soon to organize Sweat Lodge. But also something that we like doing is connect people with good medicine elders and practitioners that walk with integrity, that honor the traditions, that really put the well-being of people in as a priority. And also something that I really like about like the others that we connect with, and probably one of the biggest reasons why we connect with them is that they always remind us that the medicine helps us halfway. The medicine doesn't come and solve our life problems, and it's up to us to do the other half, to do the other 50%. And the most important ceremony starts after the ayahuasca ceremony, after the mushroom ceremony, and it is the ceremony of everyday life. For anyone who wants to connect with medicine in an authentic space, would be very happy to connect, and at the very least point you in the right direction. If not, have you join one of the ceremonies and retreats that we run.
So if anybody wanted to get a hold of you and learn about this, they just go to colibregarden.com. They hit an email in there. I'm assuming you have an email that they just click on and they can send off and give you an inquiry.
Absolutely. They can go to the website, and they can either contact us over WhatsApp or send us an email, and then we can take it from there.
Exciting.
Wow.
So, medicine music school. Why don't we talk about that for a minute?
Absolutely. So Medicine Music School is a project that I'm very passionate about. It is also around the medicine world. So when I went to my first ever ceremony, as you know, like music plays a very important part in ceremony. I was left just so awestruck with the musicians and the music that was played there, and it gave me the desire to sing myself. Almost as a joke, after that first ceremony that my sister invited me to, she sent me a song like 2 days later that was sung during the ceremony. It's a very famous song in this world. It's called Aguila Aguile. It goes Aguila Aguila Aguile. It's about a song about the spirit of the eagle, and it's very simple. And in this moment, it almost seemed funny, like, oh, this song is a little bit weird, it's a little bit funny, singing about the ego, like, what's that all about? But then I just started listening to it again, because it would bring me back to the ceremony and the insights that I received at the ceremony and what it meant for me. So I started listening on YouTube, and then the algorithm started sending me other medicine songs. So I ended up finding the lyrics of Aguila Aguile. I learned the songs and I started singing it. And after learning maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 songs, just a cappella to sing without an instrument, I got the desire to accompany myself with the guitar. So I went to a few guitar teachers, both in London and in Bulgaria, and told them, hey, I want to learn this song. And even if they were amazing guitarists, they didn't get the medicine world, so they couldn't quite teach me it. So when I came to Colombia, I entered a completely different world where there's like such a wealth of musicians that teach this kind of music. Colombia on its own has a very beautiful folklore with many, many different rhythms, different traditions. And then imagine, like this super rich folkloric tradition marrying with the medicine world. Medicine music is absolutely beautiful. So I just medicine music and singing helped me a lot in my life, with not only just singing a song and sharing a good moment with friends, but also opening the throat chakra, like speaking my truth, expressing what I have felt on my heart rather than swallowing it in, like sweeping it under the rug. So just singing helped me express myself, live a more authentic life, and just feel more peace in that way. So I wanted to, again, like make this available for other people who wanted to experience this medicine of music. So Medicine Music School is a project where we connect with local artists who teach their songs online. It's all pre-recorded, so like you can learn in your own time. But not only how to play the songs with the chords, but what is the story of the song? What is the inspiration of the song? What does this song want to transmit? In what moment of ceremony can you play it? Like it's recommended to play it. And again, like sharing more about, as I said, this way of life around the medicine, not only just the music, but the wisdom and the way of life that people connect with and live. So this is Medicine Music School. For anyone who wants to, like learn more about the medicine world and music, I think it's a fantastic project, and would be very happy to have you join.
That's pretty cool. So people can get a hold of you on either one of those, medicinemusicschool.com or colibrigarden.com.
Yes.
If they're looking more for the healing, they're better off to come to colibrigarden.com would be my personal thought. Wow, that's pretty freaking awesome, man. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. We're at that time. Sadly, I'm going to ask you if you have
I got to ask you first. Wait, hang on. Did you sing before you learned those chants?
So I used to sing when I was a little kid, like maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. But then I started playing soccer. So soccer and singing didn't fit quite well. So I had stopped singing for quite a while. But then, I remembered.
And you felt it. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Get mad at us. Tell us.
I'm gonna ask you now, like, is there anything else that you wanted to add and make sure that you had a chance to say?
Well, just wanted to say thank you for the invitation. Very happy to connect with you. Thank you for creating this project where you can talk about these important topics. I want to also say a prayer of gratitude for the life of Mika and for all the love that you have shared. May her spirit feel very peaceful and happy. And I just want to, tell people that sometimes, when life goes very in a very bad direction, we might feel stuck. I want to send a prayer for people to keep the faith, to remember that life is a beautiful gift that we have, that people care about them, and there are things that can be done. There's always tomorrow. Life is a beautiful thing, and I just want to encourage everyone to look for help, to not suffer in silence. And there are many people like us who are very happy and take it as an honor and privilege to support people through that.
Just reach out. Don't suffer. Just reach out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You're freaking awesome, brother.
It's very kind. Thank you.
Wow. So is it that time again? Am I supposed to read my life?
It is that time again, yes.
Okay, well, we definitely have to have you on again because there's lots more to talk about. There's lots more. This has been absolutely awesome. But it is that time again. So thank you for joining us here on the Mushie Moment with my co-host, Rev Cindy, myself, and our awesome guest, Ivaylo. Sorry. See, I wanted to go with that A. Ivaylo from colibrigarden.com, the garden of the hummingbird. We'll see you next week with more exciting guests and healing information here on paceradio.net, the Mushie Moment, and we stream everywhere.
Everywhere. Bye, folks.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partner 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420 enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyndonega Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.